Hello everybody. Listen, Linux is the leading growing operating system in the world. It is essential to know Linux in any DevOps or software engineering role today. You need to diversify, so this video is for you to learn the basics commands every Linux beginner should know. Firstly, we start off with the man command. So man is pretty straightforward. This stands for manual and it's self-explanatory. You use the man command in conjunction with another command. For example, here if I type pman pwd, it displays the description of the pwd command. Print the full file name of the current working directory, it says. It then goes on to show us other information of pwd, such as what options we can use with it. So this is helpful because look, it shows us that we can use the -l, -p option, --help. We'll get into options later on. So now let's go back in my terminal and I type pwd. It shows my current working directory, which is /ecs/home/Daniel8. This command is fundamental because it can help us understand other commands. Pwd command, as we've seen before, the pwd command is also very useful and used quite often. It's a basic command that tells us what is the current working directory. So I hit pwd again, and as we see, we are in this directory, in this folder right now. The next command is very useful to change directory. So this is the cd command. So the cd command, which stands for change directory, is essentially helping us access another folder. So I can here change directory cd/etc folder. Enter pwd, we are now in the /etc directory. We can also go back a directory by doing cd ... I do pwd and I am in my root directory, my root directory. This command is helpful when we want to exit or enter a directory. If we are in the users directory, let's go to cd/home. If I'm in my home directory, I can change into the next directory after. So I can change into my user directory, cd user. The next command that works really well with cd and is very essential is the ls command. ls is for listing what is in our current working directory. So it lists, I hit ls, it shows us that. Great. Let's go back to our home directory, /home. And now we hit ll or ls, and it shows me all the files and folders in my directory. This is very helpful. I can also run ls/etc. So I can ls and see another directory. And there we have it. It shows me all the files and folders of the /etc directory. Meanwhile, while we're in the home directory of Daniel8. To get more details of our files and folders, we can do ls-l. And this is really helpful because it gives us a more in-depth. So this comes in handy oftentimes when we change directory and we don't know what files and folders are in the current directory. So we run the ls command to show us the list. I can run cd ... to go back a directory, and now we're in our home directory. The next command, I'm gonna go back into Daniel8. The next command is fairly useful as well, and it's essential to know, is the touch command. The touch command, essentially, the touch command here, I can make a touch test cat. I hit enter. We run our ls, and there we have it. Test cat file is available. Now the next command I want to show you guys is the cat command. The cat command is used to read the contents of a file. So if I do cat test cat, there's nothing in the file. Let's go into nano, which is a text editor. We nano into test cat, we do the echo. This is a test. Control X. I run test cat. Oh, cat test cat. And we can see the content of our file. The next command we're going to do is the cp command. The cp command next comes in handy when we want to copy a file into another file. So here I can copy cp test, type cp, we can type the directory that we want to copy it into. Let's say we want to copy our file into the /users directory, or /home, and we're gonna, and now we type test cat, enter, cp test cat /home. cp. Okay, the next command we're looking into is the cp command. Here it's for copying a file into another directory. So I just I can cp our test cat file into, let's copy it into let's make a folder, major test. Now we can cp test cat into test. Now we go cd into test, ls, there we have it, we have test cat. We can read the contents of the file by doing test cat, by doing, misspelled it, cat test cat, and there we have it, the echo, this is a test. The next command we're looking into is the mv command, which stands for moving a file. Moving, however, what we usually use is cp to copy a file into another directory, so to move it. And mv is more so for renaming a file. So it is often used to rename a file or directory. So right now, I'm gonna cd into my test directory. Oh, I'm already in it. And I have my test cat. Now we're gonna do mv test cat, and let's rename it to just test. In ls test. Now it's test. This is when I check the contents of the file. Test. It's the same. Echo. This is a test. The next command we are looking is rm command. Since we know how to create a file using touch, we should know how to delete a file as well. So using the rm command, I can rm test. It's gonna ask me to remove regular file. You can hit yes or no, so Y or N. Y, we hit Y. And test is removed. We can double check ls test. There's no test file anymore. So the next command I want to teach you guys is the making a directory. You do the mkdir command. So the same way we can create a file, we can also create a directory using mkdir, make directory. I make mkdir, so as you saw before, I made it to use test. I can make another test2, make directory test2, ls test2, and it's actually a directory, so I can cd into test2. We can also delete a directory. Let's go back, cd.ls, test2 is still there. We can delete the directory by doing rmdir, similar to removing a file, we do rmdir, so remove directory. And from there we do remove directory test2, hit enter, ls, the test2 directory is go. The next phase, well, I want to give another example. Let's remake this directory test2. cd into test2, it's a new folder that we made. There's nothing in here. Let's create a file, touch test. So we're putting everything we learned into one. We're putting everything we learned into one. We do touch test. ls test of the file. Let's nano test. We just say hello world is the content. Control X. So we can cat test. So there's content in here. cd dot exit. Let's try removing the directory. rmdir test2. Failed to remove test2 directory as not empty. So what we want to do in this situation is rm-rf. So we force delete a directory and its contents without prompting for confirmation. rm-rf test2. ls test2 is fully gone and all the content inside of it. So be careful. Another handy command is the file command to determine what kind of file it is. So let's go back. ls. I'm in my Daniel A directory, pwd. Let's look at file documents, for example. Document a directory. We can look at file testcat. Oops, misspelled it. File testcat. It's an ASCII text. File teams.c is C source code ASCII text. So it's a useful command. It'll come in handy. Next, we have the less, tail, head commands. The last three commands I'll show you is the less command, which breaks down the file into pages. So let's test cat. This is a test. It broke it down in pages. If we had more content, this really is useful when we have thousands of lines of code. We can break it down into pages. We can go to another page. We can run through it, right? You can skip through pages. If you have thousands of lines of code, you can just skim through it if you need to, or find a certain part of the page you're looking for. Let's get out of here. Control Z to get out, or Command C, Control C. So the tail command shows me the last 10 lines of a file. Next we have, the tail command is next, which shows me the last 10 lines of a file, which is good because if you have, for example, log files that are just generating tons of code, tons of lines, outputting tons of lines, we can just tail and see the last 10 lines of file. Tail test cat, and then head would show me the first 10 lines of a file. These two commands are very useful when dealing with large files with lots of content. For example, big log files, so you can break it down into 10 last or first 10 lines, or into pages, so we can go into other pages. So those are the 16 commands every Linux beginner should know. Those are the 16 commands every Linux beginner should know. If you like the video, please subscribe because I will be teaching more of this content, including bash shells and how to automate your daily tasks. Thank you for watching.